Thank you so much to Amarinda Prabhu and all the devotees for joining us. It's really nice to see so many devotees who are interested in hearing about the glories of the Damdarashtakam that Amarinda Prabhu will be kindly sharing with us today. It'll be nice to see as many videos on as possible. I know Amarinda Prabhu likes to see the audience. Just a little about Amarinda Prabhu, if for those who do not know Amarinda Prabhu. So he is a disciple of His Holiness Radha Govinda Maharaj, Goswami Maharaj, who is a very senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada himself, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Amarinda Prabhu holds a master's degree in electrical engineering from the University of Massachusetts. He's deeply dedicated to spreading Krishna consciousness, and he's known for his captivating talks on the Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic scriptures, where he's delivered at temples, universities, various online programs, especially his Kartik programs. And alongside his preaching, Amarinda Prabhu is very active in his interfaith dialogues and discussions on the harmony of science and spirituality, and very much serves in ISKCON temples in various places, but especially in Atlanta, where he's trying to train and develop the congregation and the Bhakti Vriksha groups there, inspiring devotees worldwide through his scholarship and devotional practices. And I guess just a personal appreciation of Amarinda Prabhu, because a couple of years ago in Kartik program, Amarinda Prabhu was talking about the Damdarashtakam and all the various verses and the Shastric insights that we get from the Acharyas. So thank you so much, Amarinda Prabhu, and please, when you're ready, please do begin. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhaja Govindam Prabhu. My obeisances and loads of gratitude to devotees from London for kindly inviting me over on the call. This topic of Damodarashtakam is certainly very dear to my heart, so I will try to share in the time that we have whatever little that a sparrow can peck. When there's a nice juicy fruit given in front of a sparrow, the sparrow can still only taste as little as his beak allows him. So I'm a very small, insignificant person compared to the nectar of Damodarashtakam. But in the time that we have, by the mercy of the Acharyas, we will try to do something. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. My heartfelt obeisances to the deities, the presiding deities at London, Shri Radha Londoneshwar. My obeisances to all the wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis on the call. My obeisances to Srila Prabhupada for connecting us beyond continents, connecting us beyond time zones, and giving us this opportunity to hear and chant about Krishna. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So we are around one hand distance from the holy auspicious month of Kartik. There are those who start the vrat from Ekadashi. There are those who start the vrat from Purnima. There's also tradition to start the vrat from Dwadashi. In Sri Hari Bhakti Vilas of Srila Sanatan Goswami, he mentions Ashvinasya tu masasya ya shuklaikadashi bhavet kartikasya vratan iha tasyam kuryat atandritaha. This is in the 16th Vilas, verse 168, where he mentions that the Kartik Vrat, Kartikasya Vratan Iha, the Vrat of Kartik, should be performed Ashvinasya tu masasya, in the month of Ashwin, which is a September-October time frame, and Shukla Paksha, the bright fortnight, and Ekadashi Bhavet, typically from the Tithi of Ekadashi. And it is tradition in Vaishnav culture to follow it from Ekadashi, some even follow it from Dwadashi, and some follow it from Purnima to Purnima. That's completely fine. And Tasyam Kuryat Atandritaha. The important thing is one must perform this vrat atandritaha, without laziness, with self-restraint and dedicated discipline. So more hearing about Krishna, more chanting of japa, more doing of kirtan, more studying of Srimad Bhagavatam, worshipping the deities, offering service in the temple, preaching programs, circumambulating Tulsi, offering the lamp morning and evening to Damodar, and not to forget, reading and loudly singing the Damodarashtakam. This is the most important vrat, singing of Damodarashtakam. And here it is described again in Sri Hari Bhakti Vilas. Damodarashtakam nama stotram damodararchanam nityam damodarakarshi pathet satya vratoditam. The Damodarashtakam nama stotram, this stotra called Damodarashtakam, Nityam Damodara Akarshi, when sung every day in the month of Kartik, then it attracts Damodar. And it is not Damodar alone, it is Radha Damodar. Therefore, the Hari Bhakti Vilas also says, Radhikam pratimam vipra pujayet kartike tu yaha tasya tushyati tat prityai Shriman Damodarau Hari. That in the month of Kartik, if one worships Radharani, then Damodar is pleased. Damodar is pleased by worship of Radharani. So Radhikam pratimam vipra pujayet kartike tu yaha. O learned Brahmanas, the verse is calling out to all of the devotees assembled in the Hari Bhakti Vilas that, O learned Brahmanas, one should worship the deity of Radharani and worship Radharani with all our heart for the pleasure of Damodar. Therefore, it is not just Damodar, it is Radha Damodar. So, Damodarashtakam Nama Stotram Damodar Archanam. Sing the Damodarashtakam, worship Radha and Krishna, and daily offer lamps. By this, Damodar is extremely pleased. And Patet Satya Vrata Uditam. This has been spoken by Satyavrat Rishi. This is found in the Puranas and borrowed in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. So this is called Damodar Ashtakam. Ashtakam means 8 verses. And the word Damodar is he who's bound. Dama Udara. Dama means rope and Udara means belly. So Yashoda Rani bound Krishna in that very famous pastime that we see in chapter 9 and 10 of the 10th canto, where Krishna is being a naughty boy and Mother Yashoda binds him to a wooden grinding mortar. And this pastime typically takes place when Krishna is about 3.5 years old. So that's the time frame of Yashoda Damodar. So therefore he's called Damodar, he whose belly is bound by the ropes of love of Mother Yashoda. Sri Jiv Goswami Pad has also given another pastime where Radharani binds Krishna to a tree in Vrindavan with a very beautiful garland of forest flowers of Vrindavan. So he is bound by ropes around his belly by his mother, and he's bound by a garland of forest flowers around his belly to a Kalpavriksha tree of Vrindavan by Radharani. Therefore, he's Yashoda Damodar also, and he's Radha Damodar also. Sri Rup Goswami Pad gives another meaning to the word Damodar. He says, Anga Shamalima Chatabi Ravito Mandi Kriten Divaram Jadyam Jaguda Rochisham Vidadatam Pattham Barasya Shriya Vrindaranya Vilasinam Ridilasad Damabir Amodaram Radha Skanda Niveshitojwala Bhujam Dhyayema Damodaram. Sri Rup Goswami Pad has written that Krishna is Anga Shamalima Chatabi Ravito Mandi Kriten Divaram. Krishna is so beautiful. The complexion of his form is extremely beautiful that Mandi Kriten Indivaram, it belittles the softness of the petals of a blue lotus. It belittles the fragrance of the mixture of kasturi and musk and chandan and kumkum and aguru, all these sacred fragrant aromatic substances, when crushed together, they are belittled by the fragrance of Krishna's body. At the same time, his form is effulgent, so effulgent that a blue sapphire touchstone is put to shame. So the softness of his blue form can put a blue night blooming lotus in the waters of the Jamuna to shame. And the fragrance of his form can put all aromatic fragrant things mixed together to shame. The effulgence of his form can put the blue sapphire, the Indranilamani, completely to shame. At the same time, Krishna's form is extremely beautiful. Lavanya saram asamurdhvam ananya siddham. Every aspect of Krishna, his nose, his eyes, his eyelashes, his eyebrows, and his eyeball, the length and the elongation of his eyes, the shape, the restlessness of his vision and the movement of his eyeballs, everything is so finely formed that Sri Rupa Goswami Pad says, Anga Shamalima Chatabhiravito, although Krishna is extremely dark in complexion, and in this world, somehow, by those who are in the bodily conception of life, they think being dark complexion may not be the best. Somehow, people in this world they have that notion. But it is described Krishna is Sham. He's extremely dark, but he's Sundar. He is extremely beautiful. He's the darkest and the most effulgent and fairest at the same time. He is extremely beautiful, he's extremely dark, he's extremely fair in effulgence. That mandi kritendivaram jadyam jaguda rochisham vitadatam pattambarasya shriya. And the yellow dhoti that Krishna wears, Sri Rupa Goswami Pad says, it can put to shame even the thundering and the lightning of the night sky. Krishna's form looks more beautiful than the rain-filled monsoon cloud. Sri Kavi Karnapur has written that when you have a cloud which is not full of water, it's not full of monsoon rainwater, you see it's not dark. When there's a cloud which is not full of rainwater, it's not dark. But when it is full of rainwater, when it's the freshly formed monsoon rain shower rain cloud, you see it's dark. So Krishna is full of rasa. Rasa means mellow, and rasa also means water. So we are playing pun there with that word. So Krishna is such a floating, restless, ever-moving cloud in the sky of Brindavan that he's full of rasa, he's full of mellows, he's full of the water of ecstatic bliss. And the thundering of his flute sound and the lightning of his yellow dhoti, they can put to shame the natural phenomenon that's found in the sky. Jadyam jagudo rochisham vitatatam pattambarasya shriya vrindaranya vilasinam ridilasa dama viramodaram radha skanda niveshito jwalabhujam dhyayema dhamodaram. But that Krishna, who's extremely beautiful, who's extremely wonderful, who's extremely skilled, who's musically adept, who's unparalleled in his erudite scholarship, nobody can speak like him, nobody can sing like him, nobody can dance like him. Well, wait a minute. I need to correct myself on that. Srila Prabhupada, while he was speaking a class on this, he said, Krishna is the most beautiful. And he stopped. And Srila Prabhupada said, but there's only one person who's more beautiful than Krishna, Srimati Radha Rani ki jai. So Sri Rup Goswami Pad says, that Krishna who's so beautiful and so fragrant and so effulgent and so soft, both in body and in his heart, he gets bound to a person. That is Sri Radharani. So Radha Skanda Niveshita Ujjwala Bhujam Dhyayema Damodaram. So Rup Goswami Pad is saying, as Radha and Krishna are sitting on the Kalindira Kule Keli Kadambera Vona, Ratana Bedira Upar Boshabu Duijana. Like Sri Narottam Das Thakur has sung on the banks of the Kalindi, Jamuna, in the beautiful pleasure groves of Vrindavan, on a nice throne, Radha and Krishna are sitting. And it is described that Krishna has his hand around the shoulder of Sri Radharani, and Radharani has her hand around the shoulder of Shamsundar. So they are mutually transcendently bound to one another. And that Krishna who binds Radha with the rope of his arm is called Damodar. This is the very Rasik description that Sri Rup Goswami Pad has given. Of course, Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shaktiman, Dui Vastu Bhed Nahi Shastrera Praman, Radha Krishna Nitya Aiche Eka Hi Swarup, Lila Rasa Aswadite Dhori Dui Roop, Radha Krishna Nitya Aiche Eka Atma. Anyonya Bilase Rase. It is described in Chaitanya Charitamrit that Radha and Krishna are one Atma. Dui Deha Dhari. Anyonya Bilase Rase Aswadana Kari. That one person has become two, one to become the receiver of love, and the one to become the offer, the devotee who offers love. So in this way, that one has become two. Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati Pad gives a brilliant example. He says, just like a Mataji has one hair, right, one hair in total, but then she pots it in the middle and puts sindur in the middle. Similarly, Radha and Krishna totally are one, but they get split into. And in the middle, that one has become two, and in the middle, they have the redness of their anurag or their transcendental loving service to one another. Krishna is serving Radharani and Radharani is serving Shamsundar. So they are one, split in two forms, mutually bound by the Sindhur Kumkum, the redness of their mutual transcendental, spotless, uninterrupted, unmotivated, divine love. So in this way, next time we see any Mataji with a Simantini or Simanta, a partitioning in the hair with the Kumkum Sindur, then that can be a stimulus, not to remember the Mataji, but to remember Radha and Krishna. Shishi Radha Shamasundar ki jai. Shishi Radha Damodar ki jai. So Sri Rup Goswami Pad, who gave this explanation that Krishna has bound Radha by his arm and Radharani has bound Krishna with her arm, he gave this name as Damodar to the deity of his beloved disciple Sri Jiva Goswami Pad. When Sri Jiva Goswami Pad wanted to serve Radha and Krishna, it was Sri Rup Goswami who personally carved the deities that we see in Vrindavan today. And those Radha Damodar deities, Sri Rup Goswami gifted Sri Jiva Goswami and named them Radha Damodar. So Sri Jiva Goswami Pad used to cook for Radha Damodar. He used to dance for Radha Damodar. He used to write songs for Radha Damodar. He used to personally worship Radha Damodar. He used to wake them up, serve them all day, write for them, sing for them, cook for them, even string garlands for them, and go off to sleep and do the same thing again the next morning. So the worship of Damodar and singing of Damodarashtakam is very much in line with the works of the six Goswamis. Sri Sanatan Goswami prescribed singing Damodarashtakam. Sri Rup Goswami named Radha Damodar and gave the explanation. And Sri Jiva Goswami personally served Radha Damodar. So in Vatsalya Rati, this whole Ashtakam is for Yashoda Damodar. And in Madhuri Rati, this Ashtakam is for Radha Damodar. So it satisfies both Sthai Bhavs. So the time is too short. This Ashtakam has so much, every syllable, prati shloke, prati akhare, nana arthe koi. Every syllable, every word of every verse of Damodar Ashtakam has so much nectar. But since this is an overview, we will try to very quickly offer obeisances to each verse and we keep moving. Just like in Mayapur, you first go to Srila Prabhupada, then you go to Nashingadev, then you go to Panchatattva, then you come to Radha Madhav, and there are Ashtasakhis, and Panchatattva, there are 5 personalities. So you have to take darshan of everyone, so you do it quickly. So today, our Zoom session is like we are in Mayapur, and each of these verses are deities in front of us. So we'll take quick darshan of all of them. You start with the first verse. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Bhrajamanam Yashodabhiyo Lokhaladhavamanam Paramrishtamatyam Tato Dhritya Gopya. So Sri Satyavrat Rishi is starting by saying Namami Ishwaram Sachitananda Rupam. Namami. The first word is Namami. Namami means we bow down, we take shelter. Granthera Aramba Kori Mangalacharan, Hari Guru Vaishnava Tinera Smaran. Tinera Smaran hoy Bigna Vinashan, Anayase hoy Nije Banchita Puran. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is described in the beginning of some work, whether it is a song or either writing a book or in the beginning of having a Hari Katha discussion, it is very important to offer obeisances to Hari Guru Vaishnavas. So here Satyavat Rishi is starting off by doing Mangalacharan with the word Namami. He is offering obeisances to whom? Ishwaram. He bows down to Krishna. And how is that Ishwara? He is the controller. He is the controller of everything. Jagatvashe sarvamidam krishnasya sacharacharam. Krishna controls the universes, like we see in the Mrid Bhakshan Leela, where Krishna ate the dirt and showed the universe in his mouth. He showed Mother Yashoda how the whole universe is under his control. The planets, the meteors, the cosmic creation, the mountains, the islands, the oceans, the trees, Jalajanava Lakshani, Sthavara Lakshavimshati, the animals, the birds, the insects, the reptiles, the devatas, the asuras, the humans, everybody Mother Yashoda saw in Damodar's mouth when he ate dirt. And not just that, she also saw Vrindavan. And in that Vrindavan, she saw herself looking into Krishna's mouth. So it was one into another. So she was looking into Krishna's mouth, where she saw herself looking into Krishna's mouth, where in that mouth she saw herself looking into Krishna's mouth. So it was quite bewildering what she was actually looking into. this small, this smaller mouth was the doorway to Ishwaram, Krishna being the Supreme Lord. So Namami Ishwaram. How is he? Satchitananda Rupam. He is eternal. Krishna is past, present, and future, like the rising and the setting of the sun. He may make his appearance, he may make his disappearance, but the sun is never born and the sun never dies. The sun is always present. So, Sat, Chit, Krishna is full of knowledge. There's never a point where Krishna is in ignorance. Well, in Vrindavan, when Yogamaya covers him, then all these 3 points of Sat, Chit, and Ananda are defunct. Because actually, as the Supreme Lord, He is eternal, He's full of knowledge, which means He's never confused, and He's full of joy. But in Braj, all three get toppled, because if you ask Him, who are you? He will say, I'm Yashodanandan. He will not say, I'm Bhagavan. So Sat feature is, he will say, oh, I am only 2 years old, which means before that I didn't exist. I am the son of Nanda and Yashoda. And Chit, he is not full of knowledge, because in Vrindavan he will he will say, Maya, I want to eat dust. Oh, Maya, I want to eat sweets. Oh, Maya, I will break into that home and eat butter there, because that Maya is calling me, saying that please come and eat. Actually, if you see, that is true. The gopi in the neighbor's house is actually praying, Krishna, oh Vishnu, if the butter that I have made today is actually tasty, then may the son of Yashoda come and taste it. She's praying, and therefore Krishna goes. But now Krishna doesn't know that because she is praying, I am going there. Yogamaya covers him and just inspires him as a baby, go and steal. So Krishna feels he's stealing, but actually, as Bhagavan, he is only fulfilling the desire of his devotee, but he doesn't know it, because Yoga Maya, the Leela Shakti, has covered him completely. So the gopi who's praying, she's praying to Vishnu, if my butter is tasty, may the son of Yashoda come in. So Vishnu is fulfilling her desire by actually coming as Krishna, or Krishna is coming in. So it's the fulfillment of the gopi's desire. But Krishna as Bhagavan is completely covered. So he doesn't think that because she is praying, I am going to fulfill her desire. He just gets a little childish or childlike, restless thought, may I go break into somebody's home and eat their butter? And at the same time, the gopi in whose home Krishna comes, she doesn't think that it is Vishnu whom I'm praying to who's coming as Yashodananda. So everyone is in the grand illusion, transcendental illusion, just so that the pastimes can be relished. So this is the defunking of the Chit Shakti. And Ananda, Krishna's always in joy, but as a child, he's always crying. He's smiling also, but he's always crying. He's always cranky. In Damodar Lila, you see, he has lust, which means kama, he has krodha, and he has lobha, he has moha, he has everything. In the Bhagavad Gita, he says, if you have trividam narakasyedam dwaram nashanam atmanaha kama krodha tatha lobha tasmadeta trayam tejet. You should not desire material things. And when you get it, you should not have more of it. And when you're obstructed, you shouldn't get angry. This is what he says as lust, anger, and greed. But in the Damodar Lila, you can see Mother Yashoda is feeding him her breast milk and he wants more of it. So that's some calm, there's some desire there. And when she puts him down for some milk on the stove, then there is some anger. There's some indignation. There's some despondency that why did my mother leave me and put me down? Right? I left the ocean of milk and she can't even leave a pot of milk for me. So he gets angry and then he gets greedy that I want more of it. So he breaks all the pots as retaliation, as revenge, and starts eating all the butter and even rubbing salt on the wound by feeding all the monkeys around. And when the monkeys wouldn't eat that butter, then he would throw the pot to the ground and say, this butter is so useless, even the monkeys don't want it. And therefore, he goes through all of these moods, and then he gets bound by Mother Yashoda to teach us, just like when I went through Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, my mother bound me in the forest. Similarly, O Jivas, when you go through Kama, Krodha, Lobha, and Moha, your mother, as Prakriti, as material nature, will bind you with the ropes of Sattva Gun, Rajagun, and Tamagun in the forest of this world. Just like Krishna has Damodar Leela once, we have Damodar Leela every life because we are constantly bound. We are constantly bound. Krishna at least cried out to his father, and Nanda Maharaj came and rescued him. But alas, 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 we are bound by our mother, Prakriti, but we haven't learned the art of crying out to our father, Sri Krishna, so that he can come and liberate us. Look at Krishna. His mother bound him, but his father liberated him. And in our case, our mother, material nature, is binding us, but we haven't learned the art of crying out to our father, Pita Aham Asya Jagataha, to Krishna, so that he can come and untie the knot of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas in this forest. So, Namami Ishwaram Sachitananda Rupam. Oh, Krishna, as the eternal Lord, I bow down to you. But very specifically, the root of all these forms is Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Because just by the first line, you don't know whether it's offering obeisances to Ram, or whether it is offering obeisances to Narasimha, or whether it's offering obeisances to Vishnu. Because Namami Ishwaram Sachitananda Rupam could be offering obeisances to even Narasimhadev, who is the Lord, full of knowledge, full of bliss, and eternal. But in the second line, it says Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. So the word Gokula is what defines and brings our heart to Vrindavan. Gokula means the place where there are cows, there are calves. Go also means Gopas. Go also means Gopis. Go also means Govardhan. Go also means Goswamis. Go also means the waves of the Jamuna. So where there is Giriraj Govardhan, where there is Yamuna Devi, where there are Gopas, where there are Gopis, where there is Brishabhanu Nandini Radharani, where there are cows and calves, and Gopal, Govind, is playing with his friends, that is called Gokul. And Brajamanam, Krishna, you are effulgent in Vrindavan. You are the heartbeat of Vrindavan. If Vrindavan is like the body, then you are the soul there who's keeping the whole pastime going. And specifically Lasat Kundala. How do you know? We know that this, okay, from Gokule Brajamanam, it's referring to Krishna. But what is the age of Krishna? What age group are we putting Krishna in? Is it childhood Krishna, or is it Pauganda Krishna? Is it from 0 to 5 or 6 to 10 or 11 to 15? That is this phrase Lasat Kundalam, which indicates. Lasat means beautiful, and Kundala means earrings. So that means the earrings are moving and they're swinging, and therefore they're so beautiful. Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad says the explanation could be Krishna has just started to learn the art of walking and taking some baby steps. And therefore, the earrings that Mother Yashoda has put has started to swing back and forth. Because when a baby, chubby cheeks, dimpled chin, rosy lips, teeth within, eyes are blue, well, the whole body is blue. Lovely too. Krishna, Yashoda's son, is that you? Yes, yes, yes. Krishna is the one. So when his beautiful earrings are swinging because of his walking, Lasat Kundala. So this refers to Krishna, who is about 3 years old. And Lasat Kundalam is also beautiful because, well, Satyavrat Rishi could have spoken of the jingling of the ankle bell. That can also hint to Krishna walking. But then the earrings have a special or a Vaishishtya, a speciality, which the ankle bells don't. And that is the ankle bells are holding the feet. They're holding the feet in complete surrender, but these earrings are kissing Krishna's cheeks. Krishna has, as Damodar, he has big, round, chubby cheeks. It's almost like the butter that he eats. Some butter is always filling his cheek. Even if the butter goes down his throat, some butter is always there to bolster and support his cheeks. So it's almost like his cheeks are always full of butter. Yashoda Nandan's cheeks are so attractive that the earrings are swinging to kiss those cheeks with so much affection. So therefore, Lasat Kundalam Gokule Bhrajamanam. Yashoda Bhiya Ulukhala Dhavamanam. Dhavamanam means to run. Krishna in this pastime of Damodar Leela, he is running Dhavamanam. Where is he running from? Ulukhalat. The word Ulukhala means a wooden grinding motor that very famously we see in the paintings or the deity of Yashoda Damodar. In Sanskrit, the word Ulukhala means a motor, but there is a rule in Sanskrit, Ralayor Abhedaha, that the la syllable can be replaced by the ra syllable. Therefore, in the seventh canto, sometimes the word Prahalada is written as Praharada. Instead of the L, you'll find an R. Because in Sanskrit, there is a rule that the L can be replaced by the R, with the R. So if the word is ulukhala, which means a wooden grinding mortar, and you replace the L by the R, then the word becomes urukhala. And uru means in Sanskrit great, and khala means a wicked person. So that mortar, ulukhala, which means mortar, can also be translated as a wicked person, teaching all of this, all of us, that even if you're God, if you associate very closely to a wicked person, then you are bound by ropes of karma with that person from one life to another. Bad association will implicate even God. Like, not literal, not really, but as symbolic lessons for all of us from this pastime. So, Ulukhala, the wooden grinding mortar, also becomes Urukhala, which means a wicked person. And Krishna was associating with that wicked person very closely because he sat on top of that mortar and he broke all the pots and he was eating the butter and he was feeding the monkeys. So he was associating with that mortar for quite some time. And therefore, Yashoda Rani bound both of them together to teach, okay, both of you are partners in crime, then the rope will go around both, teaching all of us that bad association does bind us from one life to another. So Yashoda Bhiya, the word Bhiya means fear. Out of fear of Mother Yashoda, Krishna, who was sitting on top of that wooden grinding mortar feeding the monkeys, suddenly Krishna had his back to Mother Yashoda, and Yashoda Rani was coming with a stick, and Krishna was facing the monkeys and he was feeding all these monkeys. According to the Acharyas, these were the monkeys in Ram Leela who actually helped Sri Ramachandra build the bridge and cross over the ocean and fight and wage the war against Ravana. But Sri Ramachandra in Ram Leela never got a time to pay back and gift and reciprocate to all these monkeys. So those monkeys, according to Sripad Vallabhacharya ji, they appeared in Vrindavan as the monkeys of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Those monkeys of Sri Ram came as monkeys of Sri Krishna. And now Krishna was breaking those pots, barging into the house of the neighbors and stealing that butter and feeding with his own hands, telling these monkeys, oh, you have done so much for me in your past life. How can I reciprocate with just one palmful of butter? Take one more. Please eat to your fullest satisfaction. So this means that when you serve the Lord and you don't expect any reciprocation, you don't expect any remuneration, then Krishna becomes so much full of debt that he will come. Even if it means steal, beg, or borrow, even if he gets bound by his mother and he has to weep and run and cry and make his mother sweat and have all her hair and flowers fall, still he will with his own hands reciprocate by feeding those devotees who are selflessly serving him in this world. How amazing. But those monkeys are also reciprocating. They see Mother Yashoda is coming with a stick, so the monkeys start to scream, and out of fear, Damodar's heart is palpitating. My mother, oh, he just looks back, and then there is Mother Yashoda. So Yashoda Bhiya, Ulukhala Dhavamanam. Out of fear of Mother Yashoda, he is running away from the wooden grinding mortar. But Paramrishtam Atyantato Dritya. The word Dritya means quickly. Dritya Gopya, he was quickly caught from behind by that gopi. So now the word gopi is very interesting. It comes from gup dhatu in Sanskrit, which means to protect, to keep something confidential. Like for example, in Hindi we say gupt, किसी वस्तु को गुप्त रखना, गोपनीय वस्तु, which means something that is confidential. So she who keeps Krishna confidential, she embraces Krishna to her heart and keeps him confidential, which means she hides that Krishna completely in her loving embrace. She's a gopi, motherly gopi. Or in Madhuri Rati, that wonderful gopi is a gopi who keeps her love for Krishna hidden amidst her family and relatives. So in Yashodarani's case, she's a gopi because she embraces Krishna heart to heart. And suddenly, when Yashodarani is embracing Krishna, Krishna is not to be seen because he's completely in the body of Yashodarani. So, she who embraces Krishna heart to heart and makes him completely hidden is Mother Yashoda, who's a gopi. And if it is Radharani who's a gopi, or the Lalita Vishakha ityadi who are gopis, they are gopi because gup dhatu, they are hiding their love in parakya rasa from society and culture and elders and families and duties and responsibilities. They do all of that while keeping their love for Krishna hidden. So Yashodarani has caught him from behind. Now in the second verse, Krishna is reciprocating. रुदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रयुग्मं मृजन्तं कराम्भोजयुग्मेन सातङ्कनेत्रं मुहुश्वासकम्पत्रिरेकाङ्ककण्ठ स्थितग्रैवदामोदरभक्तिबद्धम्. Rudantam. Krishna starts to weep. Yashodarani is showing her strength. The mother's strength is to chastise. So the child also has to reciprocate. Ye yatham mam prapadhyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. As the devotee reciprocates, with that same intensity, Krishna will reciprocate. So Yashodarani's strength is her protective instinct, and she is reprimanding Krishna. She's trying to reprimand Krishna out of affection. So she's showing her strength. So Krishna as a baby has to show his strength. And what is the strength of a child? Tears. What else does the child have? So therefore, Rudantam. Krishna is weeping. And how is he weeping? Muhuhu, muhuhu. He's wailing and sobbing. So he's breathing. And muhuhu refers to not just dropping one tear, but he is really trying hard and he's breathing quickly and he's weeping. There are pearl like tears dripping from his eyes. And netra yugmam means two eyes, yugma means two. So two eyes, and mrijantam means to rub. So Krishna is again and again rubbing his two lotus eyes with kara ambuja yugmena. With the lotus of his palms, he is rubbing the lotus of his eyes and mixing the kajal all over his face. Krishna has kajal. And as he's weeping, Rudantam Muhu Netram Yugmam Rajantam. You can see babies in this world. It's not that God is made in the image of man, it is the fact that man is made in the image of God. So it's not that Krishna is behaving like children. Children in this world, Mahajana Yena Gatasa Pantha, they are following the footsteps of Bal Gopal. So Bal Gopal is taking his palms and he's rubbing his eyes and weeping. He's hiding his emotions from his mother. He's not showing his face because both his palms have hidden the eyes. Now, this is interesting because no king in Surya Vansha or no king in Chandra Vansha has ever been chastised by his own mother. The kings of Surya Vansha and the kings of Chandra Vansha are very aristocratic. These are the two top dynasties. And these two are also the eyes of Krishna. One is the sun and one is the moon. So when Mother Yashoda is chastising Gopal, Gopal is rubbing his kajal on his eyes to show, look, oh Maya, what you are doing. You are bringing in a blemish to the dynasties of the solar and the lunar families. The sun and the moon dynasty, my eyes have been blemished, and you've created a blot on the two dynasties. And Krishna is rubbing and mixing his kajal all over his face. Also, at the same time, with the kajal all over his face, he's telling Mother Yashoda, look who I am. With those wide eyes, with kajal all over my face, I am Jagannath. And you are chastising me, who is the Lord of the universe. And Mother Yashoda, in her heart-to-heart conversation, she's saying, you may be Jagannath to the whole world, but you are the world to me. And therefore, it is my duty to chastise you. Then, as he's crying, he's showing Mother Yashoda. Because as he's rubbing, from one eye, the tears that are coming out are white because they are the tears, transparent tears. So they are flowing in like the Ganga, the white color of the Ganga. But with the other eye, he's mixing more. So the kajal is mixing with the tears and it's flowing dark. So there is Ganga flowing here and Jamuna flowing here, and there is the reddish Saraswati river, which is flowing in his heart out of affection for his mother, that you have so much love for me. No devotee ever has. The devotees generally come and they pray to Krishna. They ask for something that they need. But oh Maya, you are so selfless. You don't want anything from me except that you want me to have good character so that tomorrow there's another Gopa in Vrindavan who has a beautiful daughter and they can give their daughter in marriage to me. Because imagine if the boy has bad character and he's known to be a butter thief, no Gopa will give their daughter in marriage. So, oh Maya, you are so concerned about me that you're ready to chastise me for my betterment. So the Saraswati, hidden river of love, which flows reddish in at Triveni Sangam, Ganga flows white and Jamuna flows dark and Saraswati flows red. And these three rivers are there bathing the body of Krishna as Mother Yashoda is chastising him. Wow. So Rudantam Murnetram Yugmam Rajantam Karam Bhoja Yugmena. So with the two lotus palms, he's rubbing his two lotus eyes and tears are dripping from his eyes. And Sir Atanka Netram. Atanka means terror and Netra means eyes. It is not that Krishna was faking it. He was really, really, really scared. मद्भयात वाति वातोयम सूर्यस्तपति मद्भयात वर्षतिंद्रो दहत्यग्नि मृत्युश्चरति मद्भयात उग्रम वीरम महाविष्णुम ज्वलंतम सर्वतोमुखम नरसिंहम भीषणम भद्रम मृत्योर मृत्युम नमाम्यहम. The first verse from the third canto, the second verse, Stuti of Narsingadev. Both these verses say that fear fears the Lord. Wind blows out of fear of Krishna. Sun rises out of fear of Krishna. Indra gives rain out of fear of Krishna. Yamaraj does his duty out of fear of Krishna. And Krishna really, Sir Atanka Netram, there is terror and fear in his eyes from the stick of Mother Yashoda. It is quite interesting. This Leela, everything goes topsy-turvy. He who is in the ocean of milk as Vishnu, who has no shortage of milk, he wants more milk in this Leela. So Krishna breaks character completely in Damodar Leela. He who has so much milk cries because he doesn't get enough milk. He who's considered to be aptakam, atmaram, self-satisfied, he becomes greedy. That Lord, remembering whom anger is pacified in the heart. Atmaramascha munayo nirgranta purukrame kurvanti ahaituki bhaktim ittam bhuta gunohari. Remembering whom one overcomes anger. That Lord is becoming angry. He who's completely Nama giram viduraya manashas chetasamapi, as Gajendra says, he who's beyond the purview of sense perception, that Lord has been chased down from behind by his mother. He can't even be chased down, hunted down through contemplative meditation, through samadhi. But Mataji, Yashoda Rani, is running and from behind she has caught him. So he who can be caught has been caught. He who liberates others is crying for his own liberation. He who is unlimited is bound by ropes of this world. It's just phenomenal. He's breaking character completely. And that is seen in this verse also. Generally, you see, where there is water, lotus comes from water. But here, Virod Abhas Alankar has been used, where instead of lotus coming out of water, he's rubbing the lotus and water is coming from the lotus. Instead of lotus coming from the water, in this Leela, water is coming from the lotus. His eyes are like lotus and water in the form of tears is coming from Krishna's eyes. How wonderful, how wonderful, how wonderful. Adbhut, adbhut, adbhut. Adbhut. And muhuhu, the word muhuhu has come twice in this verse, which means again and again he's rubbing, again and again he's crying, again and again he's fearful, and again he's breathing quickly. So all of that repetitive sense has been used. Muhu shwasa. He's breathing, deep breathing. Krishna is doing pranayam, teaching all of us that when you're in calamity, the only thing you can do is breathe in and remember the Supreme Lord. So when he's in calamity, when there's predicament in his life, Krishna is also doing shwas prashwas. He's doing Rechak Purak and Kumbhak. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. He's Yogeshwar in the Bhagavad Gita. But here he's doing yoga himself to be free from this place. Shwasa Kampa. He's trembling. And Trirekanka Kantha. He's looking around if there is somebody who can help him. So therefore his neck, when he moves around, develops three lines like a conch shell. You see a conch shell, And the place where you put your fingers in there, there are 3 lines. So you can remember this is like Damodar's face where he has moved his neck. So there are 3 lines there. It's really amazing. So Trirekanka Kanta, Krishna is looking around to see who can help me. Baldao, please help me. Nanda Baba, please help me. Or he's also looking out to see who is that friend who perhaps has backstabbed and complained about me that Mother Yashoda got to know that I was stealing butter here. So many bhavs are there. And Stita Griva, Damodaram, Bhakti Baddham. I bow down to that Damodar who's bound Bhakti Baddha. कारागृहे वस सदा हृदये मदीये मद्भक्ति पाश इह बंधन निश्चल सन त्वं कृष्ण हे प्रणय कोटि शतांतरेपि सर्वस्व चौर हृदयान्न ही मोचयामि. Sri Bilva Mangal Thakur Leela Shuk in his Chaurashtakam, in the last verse, he says, Krishna, you are a great thief because you steal everything away, not just butter. Braje prasiddham navanita chauram. Mother Yashoda knows only about that stealing. But Mother Yashoda doesn't know about Gopangananam Dukula Choram, that you also steal other things in Vrindavan. You steal the clothes of the gopis. Aneka Janma Arjita Papa Choram, you as Bhagwan, you also steal our sins away. Sri Radhikaya Hridayasya Choram, as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, you steal the heart and the complexion of Srimati Radharani. And Navambuddha Shamala Kanti Chauram, you steal the complexion of the rain cloud. And those who come and give you their heart, you take more from them. Padashritanam cha samasta chauram, you take away their homes because you make them sannyasis. Or if they're grihastas, you take away their homes in the sense that you keep them traveling continuously so that you cannot stay in your own home. And Krishna steals everything away from us. He steals away our bad habits. He steals away our forehead. Now, this forehead belongs to him because there's always tilak. This kanta belongs to him. There's always kanti. The dress has changed, so he's not simply stealing the clothes of the gopis, he's stolen the clothes of the gopas also in this world. All of our clothes have been stolen by Krishna, because the first day when we came to the temple, we were dressed differently. But now when we go for the programs, we are dressed differently. So Krishna is stealing our forehead, Krishna is stealing our neck, Krishna is stealing our time. Initially, devotees tell us just chant one round and life will change. It's only 5 minutes out of 24 hours. Have you seen devotees who give that sales pitch? Just 5 minutes in one day and your life will change. Yes, it did change because that 5 became 10, 10 became 15, and in no time that 15 minutes became 15 or 16 rounds. And then devotees will come and say, chant more on Ekadashi, chant more on Kartik, in the month of Kartik. So Krishna steals our speaking ability. Instead of being sales and marketing manager in an IT company, we start becoming sales and marketing manager on Bhadra campaign for Bhagavatam. So Krishna has stolen our throat. Krishna has stolen our neck. Krishna has stolen our forehead. He steals our clothes. He steals our time. So he's a very, very big thief. So Sri Bilvamangal Thakur Leela Shuk says that Karagrahe vasasadhardaye madiye. Bigger the offense, bigger should be the punishment. So Krishna, I will imprison you. If you were only a butter thief, Mother Yashoda will bind you for some time. But because she doesn't know that you have a criminal history, you steal not from one place, but you steal from everyone and continuously. Now he's stealing in UK, he's also stealing in US, he's also stealing in Australia, and across time zones he's stealing. Now all of our times at this point, he's being stolen by one thief, Damodar. So Leela Shukshi Bilvamangal Thakur says, bigger the thievery, bigger the theft, bigger the crime, bigger is the punishment. And the punishment for you, my dear Lord, is life imprisonment. But the bad news is Krishna is eternal. So yes, eternal life imprisonment in the most dirtiest prison possible. That is, my dear Lord, my heart. My heart is the dirtiest prison with the darkness of ignorance, and it's very dirty with all of my material desires. There, with the ropes of affection, my dear Lord, eternally in the prison house of my heart, I will bind you. So Krishna is bhakti baddham in this verse. Sita graiva damodaram bhakti baddham. He is not simply bound by Yashoda Rani. Yashoda Rani has started the sampradaya of binding Gopal. So every devotee should pray to Yashoda Rani, should pray to Radha Rani that please give me the strength so that I can tie my heart around Krishna's lotus feet for all times to come. इति दृक्स्वलीलाभिर् आनन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तम् आख्यापयन्तं तदीयेषि तज्ञेषु भक्तैर्जितत्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्ति वन्दे पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शत आवृत्ति वन्दे वन्दे अहम वन्दे ओ Damodar shata avriti hundreds of times I bow down to you. We may say this, but Sri Raghunath Das Goswami Pad actually did it every day. By offering 3,000 Dandavat pranams every day, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami was living by Shata Avriti. Avriti means repeat. Punaravritti. In Hindi, when you have to repeat something, you say, Iski avriti karenge, to repeat. So Shata Avriti. Shata means hundreds. Hundreds of times I will repeat Vande. I will bow down to you, my Lord. Puna prematastam shata avriti Vande. And I will bow down not as duty, but premata. In Sanskrit, when you add ta after prema, that means it gives you the sense of the stimulant or the impetus. So, with the stimulant of prema in my heart, premataha, tam shata avriti vande. Krishna, I bow down to you with prema in my heart. Now, in the third verse, iti drikswa leelabhi ananda kunde swaghosham nimajjantam akhyapayantam. The word is nimajjantam. Nimajjantam means to drown. Whom is Krishna drowning? Swaghosham. He is drowning the whole of Vrindavan in a certain kund that is called Ananda Kund. It's Ananda Kund. Just like when you push someone forcibly into water, and the person also wants to be in water, and you push him even further, and the person wants to be more in the water, and you push him further. That's what's happening here. The Ananda Kund, or the Kund of joy, is Swa Leela Bihi, Ananda Kunde. Krishna iti drik, by such pastimes like Damodar Leela, childhood pranks, you are pushing the residents of Vrindavan forcibly. As they want to drown, you're drowning them further in a beautiful nectar pond called joy, Ananda. So it's quite pictorial. Nice imagery has been created in the heart that the Brajbasis want to swim and drown. Sri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Jena Bhasi. They want to swim and drown in the waves, in the pools of ecstasy, and Krishna's pushing them. Sri Surdas Ji, a beloved disciple of Sri Vallabhacharya Mahaprabhu, he writes that when Mother Yashoda was putting Krishna to sleep, she was rocking the cradle. And baby Gopal, he's so small. He's rubbing his eyes because he wants to sleep. He's getting some sleep, but he's closing his eyes, but he's not getting sleep also at the same time. It's not instantaneous. So Mother Yashoda is rocking the cradle and she's singing such sweet songs. She's saying, Oh Gopal, see, you will become the king of Vrindavan very soon. Then all these cows and calves that you're playing with today, they will still be with you tomorrow, but now they are your friends. Some cows are like your mothers, but in the future they will become your subjects. Krishna, now you take rest. You are the future king of Vrindavan. And listening to all this, Gopal feels if I go to sleep, my Maya will stop singing these songs for me. So then, on purpose, he doesn't want to sleep. He wants to close his eyes, obeying his mother, but doesn't want to sleep because if he goes to sleep, her songs will stop. So Mother Yashoda starts chastising Nidra Devi. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Nidra Rupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. अरे निंदरिया काहे तू ना आवते तो को लाला बुलावत है. Surdas ji writes, why are you not coming? Lala is calling you. Oh Nindariya, oh Nidra Devi, why aren't you coming? My little Gopal, see, he's calling you, please come. Because Krishna, he's in the cradle. His arms are tied by the cloth. Mother Yashoda has wrapped him up, not with the cloth, but with her embrace. And he is looking around. So Mother Yashoda is saying, look, he's searching for sleep personified. So why won't you come? So as soon as she's invited, Nidra Devi comes. And when somebody comes to Krishna, Krishna readily accepts. So Krishna gave Nidra Devi the sitting asan of his eyelids. So Nidra Devi came and sat on the eyelids of Gopal, and Gopal went off to sleep. Now, when he went off to sleep, Yashoda Rani stopped singing loud songs. She was just whispering very softly. And even when she had to communicate with everyone in the house, she was just doing it through signs and symbols. She was saying, "Shh, Krishna's gone to sleep." And she was whispering. But then Krishna felt, what is this? This is so boring. I do this as Vishnu in Vaikuntha all the time in Yoga Nidra. I have not come here to be put to sleep by Yashoda Rani. I have come in this world to hear her songs. So in no time, Krishna wakes up. And then Yashodarani repeats the whole process again, kissing baby Gopal, embracing him to her heart, and singing songs for him, entertaining him. He's smiling, she's smiling, seeing him smiling. And then seeing her smile, he starts to smile. And then, in the mutual affection, who gets chastised again? Nidra Devi. And Sri Surdas ji writes, जो सुख सूर अमर मुनि दुर्लभ सो सुख नंद भामिनी पावे. That joy which the devatas hanker for, that joy which even human beings and eternal associates hanker for, Nanda Bhamini Pave, that joy has flooded the heart of the queen of Vrindavan, the wife of Nanda Maharaj. So by such childhood pastimes, iti drik, Swa Leela Ananda Kunde, Krishna is drowning Swaghosham, his own Vrindavan, Nimajjantam. He forcibly drowns them. Why does he drown them? Akhya payantam. Kya, akhya, akhyati. In Sanskrit, kya dhatu means to loudly say something, to announce, proclaim something. So, akhyati or akhya payantam, which means Krishna, through these pastimes, he wants to announce something to the whole world. And what does he want to announce? Tadiya Ishitajneshu Bhaktaihi Jitatvam. Compared to those who serve him out of fear and duty, those who serve him out of heartfelt affection, they are much more heavier on the beam balance. They weigh heavier compared to those who are simply serving him out of duty. So Krishna wants to tell the whole world, don't be God-fearing, be God-loving. Vidhi bhakti is important, but Vidhi bhakti brajabhav paite nahi shakti. One should develop spontaneous love to get to the lotus feet of Krishna. Then in the fourth and the fifth verse, there is one common thread. So we'll discuss 4 and 5 together. Varam deva moksham na mokshavadhim va न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेषादपीह इदं ते वपुनाथ गोपालबालं सदा मे मनस्यावेरास्तां किमन्ये इदं ते मुखाम्भोजम् अत्यन्तनीलैर्वृतं कुन्तलैः स्निग्धरक्तैश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्याविरास्ताम् अलं लक्ष्यलाभे. So in verse 4 and 5, there is Satyavrat Rishi's begging. He is beseeching the Lord for only one thing. Please appear in my heart. May I see you uninterrupted. Whether my eyes are seeing other things or my eyes are closed, irrespective of whether I am awake or I am asleep, irrespective of whether I am alive or dead, my dear Lord, in the core of my heart, may I see you. I don't want anything else. So in the fourth verse, he says, Idam te vapu natha. Oh, my dear Lord, natha, this form of yours, vapuhu, te vapuhu, your vapuhu, as Gopala Balam, as baby Gopal, sadame manasi, always in my heart, avirbhav. Avir means appear. And if I get this, astam ki manyai, what else will I ask for? Krishna says, that's a little difficult. Can I give you something else? How about becoming one with me? You want to enter the Brahma Jyoti and become one with him? He says, Varam Deva Moksham Na. I don't want to have Sayujya Mukti and Moksha Avadhimva. I don't want the remaining other 4 also. Salokya sarshi samipya sarupyam ekatvam evacha diyamanam na grinhanti vina matsevanam jana. Third canto Bhagavatam says there are 5 times of liberation. Having the opportunity to live in the same abode as the Lord, Salokya. Sarupya, having the form like the Lord. Samipya, having proximity with the Lord. Sarshti, having all the opulences of the Lord. And Ekatvam, becoming one with the Brahma Jyoti. Sri Kapila Muni says, Diyamanam na grinhanti. None of these 5 Vaishnavas want if it takes them away from serving the lotus feet of Radha and Shyamsundar. If seva is there, then no problem. You can give me samipya. If you give a chamar in my hand, then for that I need to come close to you. Chamaro dulavo kabe heri mukha chandra, then it is okay. But if I am just getting chance to stand next to you and see both of you, O Radha Shyamsundar, with no seva in my hand, oh, then I don't want. I don't want. I can Mora e abhilash vilas kunje diobas noyone heribo sada jugal ruparasi. Then in that case, I can even sit behind a kunja and look at Radha and Krishna from the hiding. I don't have to come close. I don't need samipya. But if it is seva, if I have to garland, oh, then I have to come close. Then I have to offer Gatiro malatir mala dibo dohar gole, adhare tulia dibo karpura tambule. If it is stringing a garland or giving some tambul, then I have to come close. Or divine couple or Radha Shyamsundar. Otherwise, you see in the community, devotees are coming and taking darshan from a distance. But only when they have to change the dress, they have to do the service on the altar, that's when they are coming close in the same loka, in the same altar, and samipya, in the same proximity as a pujari. And they have the same opulence because they are on the same altar. Everyone's coming. Imagine it's Gaur Purnima and you are on the altar of Radha Madhav, Mangalarti, and you're blowing the conch shell. Everyone's coming to see Radha Madhav and you're on the same altar as them. So that is quite an opulence. That is Sarashti. But if it is for Mangalarti, then I'm okay to stand there. But just standing there without any seva, that's very embarrassing. So Diyamanam na krinhanti vina mat sevanam janam. My dear Lord, I don't want anything. Here he says, Varam Deva, O Dev. Now this is quite an interesting word, Dev. That Dev we will explain when we come to the 6th verse, Namo Deva Damodar. So Varam Deva moksham na moksha avadhimva. My dear Lord, I don't want any of these 5 types of mukti. Nacha anyam vrine. I don't want anything else also. Nanaka prashtam, na chaparameshtam, na sarvabhaumam, na rasadhipatyam, na yoga siddhi, na punarbhavam va. Samanjasatva virahiya kangshe. I don't want liberation. I don't want happiness here. I don't want to be in heaven. I don't want to be saved from hell. Kumbi pakam gurumapi hare narakam napanetvam. I don't want protection from past sinful reactions. Hey Prabhu, I don't want anything. Anya abhilashita shunyam. Even with the boons, I don't want anything else. Just one boon. Idam te vapunatha gopala balam. Oh Gopal, Yashoda Gopal, if both of you can appear once in my heart, then he says, no, not once, sada. Sada me manasi. Every moment you appear once, ever fresh. Sada me manasi avir astam ki manye. If you can give darshan in my heart, then what else do I want? Then Krishna says, oh, you want this form of mine? But you haven't still described how this form is. In the first verse, you just said Lasat Kundalam and you got derailed. Sometimes in Hari Katha it happens, you're speaking something and then another topic derails you out, right? And then the listener will come and say, Prabhu, you were saying 4 points, but you mentioned only 2 and then you started discussing something else. So Satyavrat Rishi, he started by saying, Namami Ishwaram Sachitananda Rupam. This form is beautiful. And then he said, Lasat Kundalam. And then he went to Gokule Brajamanam and then Yashoda, the Leela began. So Krishna is saying here, again, you're saying this form, but you haven't described the form that you want to see. So then in the 5th, he says, Idam te mukham bhojam atyanta nilair vritam kuntalai snigdha raktaischa gopya. This mukhambhuj. Ambhuja means lotus and mukha means face. Idam te mukhambhojam atyanta, or in some pathyantar, in parallel writings, it's avyakta nilair. Atyanta or avyakta. So idam te mukhambhojam atyanta nilair. Atyanta nilair means extremely black. What extremely black? Avritam kuntala. So the word kuntala refers to hair, locks of soft black curly hair. They are atyanta neelar. They are extremely black. So the skin texture of Krishna and the texture of his hair, they're both dark, but they're very different dark. They're very different. They're distinctly different. The locks of soft black hair don't get camouflaged in the skin color of Krishna. So idam te mukhambojam atyanta neelar vritam. The locks of soft black curly hair, O Krishna, kuntalaihi avritam. They have covered your forehead. And Yashodarani has to lift the hair and tie it up. And again the locks come down and they have covered. Sometimes they even cover the eyes of Krishna. And then between the locks of soft black curly hair, Krishna has to see. So Yashodarani immediately takes it up so that in the future Krishna doesn't become squint, because if he's used to seeing from between the locks of hair, Yashodarani has fear that Bal Gopal shouldn't have a different description for his eyes. So look at how wonderful the Rupak Alankar has been used here. Mukhambujam, that Krishna's face is a lotus. Wonderful metaphor. Krishna's face is a lotus, and these locks of soft black curly hair are the black bumblebees. They are the black bumblebees. So Krishna's face is a lotus because it is very soft. It is fully blossomed lotus. And it is a blue lotus. It's a blue lotus. Why? Because Sri Radharani is Chandranana, not Chandravali, but she's Chandranana. She's moon faced, Sharadendu Mandale. And the night blooming blue lotus flower opens completely in front of the full moon. So Radharani is the Purnima, full moon. And in the presence of Sri Radharani, his face is completely blossomed. Completely blossomed. Maha Marakata Mani Yatha, Bhagavatam describes that Sakshad Manmatha Manmatha. Krishna is always beautiful, but he's most beautiful in Vrindavan. He's even more beautiful in the presence of the friends. He's even more beautiful in the presence of Yashodarani. He's even more beautiful in the presence of the Madhuryamai gopis. And he is most beautiful, the destroyer of millions of cupids, the subduer of millions of devatas. He is most beautiful in the presence of Sri Radharani. Therefore, only once in the Bhagavatam, Shukdev Goswami says, Sakshan Manmatha Manmatha. Krishna is like the cupid for the millions of cupids. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Cupid attracts us, Krishna attracts Cupid, Radharani attracts Krishna, and therefore Cupid is Madan, Krishna is Madan Mohan, and Radharani is Madan Mohan Mohini. So Krishna is faces of blue lotus opening up to the moon of Radharani's devotional moonbeams. And at the same time, it is soft like a lotus. The lotus has nectar in the middle, so Krishna's smile. Madhuram Madhuram Vapurasya Vibho. Madhuram Madhuram Vadanam Madhuram. Madhu Gandhim Mridhusmitam Etadaho. Madhuram 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 Madhuram. Krishna's body is sweet. His face is sweeter. His smile is the sweetest when it is tinged with beautiful, wonderful words coming out of his mouth and fragrance of nectar coming from his mouth. When Krishna plays hide and seek, Radharani can find Krishna so quickly because as soon as Krishna goes to hide, all the deer come and stand outside the kunj. All the bumblebees are hovering on the top. All the birds are flying over that kunj. They all are attracted by the fragrance coming from Krishna's mouth. Therefore, Krishna's face is a lotus flower, very beautiful lotus flower. And in that, Avyakta Nilair or Atyanta Nilair Vritam Kuntalaihi. The locks of soft black curly hair are the bumblebees jumping to drink the nectar of Krishna's sweet smile. And Snigdha Raktaihi. You see, sometimes the lotus flower also has some reddish pollen spots there, some pollen grains there. So that is also accounted here. Snigdha Rakta. Rakta means red, and Snigdha means affection. So he's also having some reddish pollen marks in the form of Mother Yashoda's constant kissing. So he's a lotus flower who gets kissed again and again, Gopya, by Mother Yashoda. She's kissing him and she has made his face completely red. That's the, it's like Kumkumakta kanjanabja garvahari gauraha. If you take a golden lotus and you smear some kumkum on that, then it looks even more beautiful. So Krishna is a dark blue lotus smeared with the kumkum of Yashoda Rani's affection, where she is kissing Gopal again and again, has made his face swollen in affection. So this is Snigdha Raktaischa Gopya. How? Muhuhu, again and again, Chumbitam Bimba Raktadharam me. Faces completely kissed and made red by Yashodarani. And in the middle of all this, he's also smiling and Bimba Rakta Adharam. Krishna has like a cherry, reddish, crimson red, cherry like beautiful Bimba fruit like lips. Satyavrata Rishi says, Manasi Avir Astham Alam Laksha Labhaihi. Please give this form in my heart. Darshan. जन्म सफल तार कृष्ण दर्शन जार भाग्य हुआ छे एक बार विकसिय हृदय ने कोरी कृष्ण दर्शन छाड़े जीव चितेर विकार. Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahasaya says, when Krishna gives darshan in the heart, that is when human form is successful. Human form becomes successful when Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti, when they have darshan in the heart. Dhruva Maharaj had his eyes closed, Vishnu was standing in front of him. What did Vishnu do? He appeared in the heart and then disappeared. So Dhruva became agitated and then he opened his eyes and that same form was in front of him. So first darshan is always in the heart and then darshan is in front of the eyes. So Manasi Avir Astam, may this form appear before me. Alam Laksha Labhaihi. Instead of this, if you give me hundreds and thousands of other benedictions, I don't want. I only want this. But then Satyavrata Rishi is thinking, just by having desire, you will not get Krishna. You have to perform bhajan. And what is the best bhajan? Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyatha. So Satyavrata Rishi in verse 6, he takes shelter of Nam Sankirtan. He calls out to the names of the Lord so that love can rise in the heart, and on the power of that love he can give. He can have darshan of Damodar. Because he's saying, I want darshan. Damodar says, for that first you need to have love of Godhead. Otherwise you cannot. Satyavrata Rishi says, how can I develop love of Godhead? Damodar says, you have to do Nam Sankirtan. So they flow from one verse to another. Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukha Jalabdhimagnam Kripa Drishti Vrishtyati Dinam Vatanu Grihane Shamamajnam Edyakshidrishya. So he calls Krishna by many names. Dev, Damodar, Ananta, Vishnu, Prabhu, and Kripadrishti. Yeah, these are 5 names he calls Krishna. And Isha, Grihan Isha, 6 names he calls out to the Lord. And for himself, he says Dukkha Jalabdhi Magnam and Dinam and Ajnam, 3 names for himself. 6 names for Krishna and 3 names for himself. So what are the 6 names he calls Krishna by? He says Deva. Remember we said in the 4th verse, we will discuss the word Deva here. So in Sanskrit, the word Deva has 4 meanings. Dyotnath, Danath, Deepnath, Kridashil. So the word Deva comes from Div Dhatu. In the Dhatu Pad, Sri Jiva Goswami Pad has given all these meanings. So Div Dhatu, the root Div, means Dyotnath, Danath, Deepnath, and Kridashil. So what are these 4 words that we are saying? What do they mean? It means he who is effulgent, he who makes his followers effulgent, he who fulfills all desires, and he who's extremely naughty and playful. So when you say the word Deva, all these 4 meanings are included. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Manamanasa Madhukaram Arpaya Nijapada Pankaja Makarande Deva Bhavantam Vande. Sri Rup Goswami Pad calls Krishna Dev. Dev is a wonderful, very wonderful, 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 supremely wonderful name. Deva. Krishna is Adi Deva. Namastubhyam. He's Deva. Similarly, Sri Bilvamangal Thakur, he calls Krishna Deva. He Deva, He Daita, He Bhuvanaika Bandho. He Krishna, he Chapala, he Karunaika Sindhu, he Nath, he Ramana, he Nayanabhirama, ha ha kadanu bhavitasi padam drishorme. That will be for another time. But for now, the word Deva is extremely used in the writings of the Acharyas. Krishna is extremely effulgent. And those who worship him, they become extremely empowered, so they become effulgent. And Krishna fulfills all their desires, Danath. So Dyotanath, Danath, Deepnath. To be effulgent, to make others effulgent, to fulfill all desires, and Kridashil, to be playful. So in this Leela, Krishna is all four in Damodar Leela. Of course, he's Kridashil. This goes without saying. He's extremely playful and naughty. So he's Dev. At the same time, he's extremely effulgent, because when the motherly gopis would hide their butter, he would still be able to find it on the power of the lamps, the diya that have been kept in the homes. Then the motherly gopis, to save their butter, they would switch off all their lamps. So Krishna is in darkness, so he cannot know where the pots are. But it's so amazing. He enters the room and his ornaments are so effulgent. He illuminates the room wherever he goes. But here's the interesting point. Where do those ornaments get that effulgence from? Yanmartya lilo paikum swayoga maya balam darshayita grihita vismapanam swasya cha saubhagardhe param padam bhushana bhushanangam. Third canto Bhagavatam describes Krishna is so effulgent that when he puts on the ornaments, his ornaments become dull because of his effulgence. In comparative study, he is so much more effulgent that in comparison, the ornaments become dull. On the other hand, he's so effulgent that when the dust, which is actually dull, touches his body, that dust becomes sparkling in effulgence because of his body. Sri Jiva Goswami Pad's disciple wrote a very beautiful verse in this regard, where he says, Krishna, you are the reconciler of opposite contradictions. Dust is considered to be lacking luster, and ornaments are considered to be very effulgent. But when they touch your body, they have opposite nature. The dust, which is not effulgent, by touching your body starts sparkling. And the effulgent ornaments, by touching your body, because your body is so effulgent and beautiful, your ornaments go dull. But at the same time, because of this quality of being effulgent and making your followers effulgent, Krishna is effulgent, and because the ornaments go wherever he goes, they also become effulgent by the association of Krishna's effulgence. So in Damodar Leela, he is fulfilling the desires of the neighborhood gopis. He is being extremely playful. He is extremely effulgent and makes his ornaments effulgent and the room effulgent. So he's Dyotanath, Danath, Deepnath, Kridashil. He's effulgent, makes others effulgent, fulfills all desires, and he's extremely playful. So Namo Dev. Wow, wow. So nice. And this is why Sri Radharani is called Devi. Because for these four characteristics, she's effulgent, supremely effulgent. She makes her maidservants extremely effulgent, fulfills all their desires, and she's also very playful. Radharani is also very playful as Kishori, as Brishbhanu Nandini. Extremely playful. Therefore, Devi Dukkha Kula Sagarodare Duhyamanamati Durgatam Jana Pom Kripa Prabala Naukayadbhutam Prapayaswa Pada Pankajalayam. Tavaivasmi na jivami tvaya vina iti vidnyaya devi tvam nayamam charanantikam. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami Pad calls Radharani as Devi repeatedly in his writings for this reason. So when Matajis get initiated in ISKCON, they're getting two names of Radharani. There'll be some name, and then there's a Devi, and then there's a Dasi. So enforcing this point that you're actually a maidservant of that Radharani who is also called by the first name. So if somebody's name is, let's say, Radha Devi Dasi, so that's like Radha Radha Dasi because Devi is also Radharani. So anyway, I told you Hari Katha is a place where you can get derailed very quickly. So I want to protect myself from that fault. So Namo Deva Damodar, O Dev, O Damodar, O Ananta, O unlimited Lord. All of these names have Aishwarya understanding in opulence, and they also have very sweet Madhurya moods also. But in the lack of time, sufficient to say for now that Deva, Damodar, he who's bound by Mother Yashoda's love, Ananta, who dances with the gopis in the Rasalila, Kim Brahma Janmabhir Ananta Katharasasya. O Vishnu, Vishnu means he who creates a universe and enters his own universe. That's Vishnu, he who's Vyapnoti, he who's present everywhere, and Vishate, he who enters. So he's Vishnu. So in Damodar Lila, he's Vishnu because Krishna is Vishnu. Why? Because Vishnu means he who creates something and enters his own creation. So in Damodar Lila, Damodar creates a problem and then enters that same problem. First, he creates a problem, then he enters that same problem. So he's Vishnu. And he's Prabhu. Prabhu. And Isha, he is the Supreme Lord. Oh, my dear Lord, Prasida, please be satisfied with whatever verses I'm offering, Satyavrata Rishi is saying. And Dukkha Jalabdi Magnam, I am drowning in the ocean of Dukkha. What Dukkha is this? This is not Adidevik, Adibhautik, Adhyatmik for Satyavrata Rishi. It is the Dukkha of separation from Krishna. Krishna, if you don't give me darshan, my life is useless. Please, I am drowning. Save this drowning man. Please save me. Please give me darshan. Kripa drishti vrishti. Please give me the vrishti of drishti. Very poetic. Kripa drishti vrishti. Please, as I am drowning in this ocean of suffering, this is the ocean of salty water because it is in pain, separation from you. And you are a rain cloud because he previously said Krishna is very beautiful, Lasat Kundalam and Mukhambojam, Idam te Mukhambojam ityadi. So the metaphor continues. If the ocean of salty water of separation from you is what is drowning me, then my dear Lord, you are the cloud up there and I'm looking up to you. And you please give me the sweet water vrishti, the rain of kripa. What is the sweet water I want? The kripa, the mercy of your darshan. So as I'm drowning in the salty water of separation, O rain cloud Damodar, please shower the rain shower of sweet water of your darshan. And ati dinam, I am extremely fallen. Grihana, please accept me. I am ajñam, I don't know what is right and what is wrong. And now he's extending it further. And he says, don't just appear in my heart. Akshi drishya. You appear in my heart, first step, and then you also appear in front of my eyes constantly. Wherever I see you, may I see you, my dear Lord. Satyavrat Rishi said, what you're asking for is too lofty, too lofty. For that, somebody has to be a pure devotee. Otherwise, it's not possible. Satyavrat Rishi, when he's saying this, Damodar is saying this in return. Damodar is saying for that, Satyavrat Rishi, just by offering prayers, it's not going to work. You have to be a pure devotee. So Satyavrat Rishi gives formidable rebuttaling arguments here in verse 7. He says, Kuveratmajau baddha murtyaiva yadvat त्वया मोचितो भक्ति भाजो कृतो च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकाम में प्रयाच न मोक्षे ग्रहो मिस्ति दामोदरे. He says, oh Krishna, first you are telling me to do Nam Sankirtan. Then when I'm doing Nam Sankirtan, you're saying I have to be a pure devotee. Oh Krishna, this is not fair. You have to give me bhakti by which I can see you. You have to give it. Krishna says, no, it doesn't work like that. You have to develop it on your own. To which Satyavrat Rishi says, not true, because in this Leela, you gave darshan to the two sons of Kuber as Mani, Griv and Nalakuber. Kuber Atmajau. The sons of Kuber, they were downtrodden spiritually. They were completely out of all social considerations of ethics and morality. They were not following any principles. They were not doing Nam Sankirtan. They didn't do anything. Kuver Atmajau Baddha Murti. And they were standing like trees. How could tree do bhajan? Baddha Murti. Kuver Atmajau, the two sons of Kuber, Manigriv Nalakuber, Baddha Murti. They were standing as trees. And Twaya Mochitau. You mukti, you gave them liberation, and bhakti bhajau kritau, and you made them into devotees. You liberated them From that bondage, you made them into devotees, gave them darshan, listened to their prayers, and gave them eternal bodies as Snigdha Kantha and Madhu Kantha. Manigriva and Nalakuer, the two sons of Kuber, eternally are the Harikatha speakers of Goloka Vrindavan. Can you believe that? In Sri Jiva Goswami's works, he explains how Madhu Kantha and Snigdha Kantha, Madhu Kantha means sweet throat, and Snigdha Kantha means loving throat. They, with their throat, they go door to door and they speak about the story, what's happening today in Krishna Leela in Gokul. So they are the Aaj ki taja khabar. The perverted reflection in this world is we want to hear news, but the actual fruit, this reflection is the perversion. The actual fruit is hearing Krishna Leela from Madhu Kantha and Snigdha Kantha. And how did they get that opportunity? Because they prayed. Vani gunanu kathane shravanau kathayam hastau cha karmasu manastava padayorna. In Canto 10, Chapter 10, text 38, 10:10:38, Srimad Bhagavatam, they say, Vani Guna Anukathane. May through our tongues, oh dear Damodar, we always speak about you. And Damodar said, Bas, granted. May you become Madhukantha and Snigdha Kantha. Immediately, I grant you to become eternal associates. So Satyavrat Rishi is saying, Krishna, this is not fair. I am asking for darshan in my heart, not darshan in front of my eyes. Then you're saying do Nam Sankirtan. Then when I do Nam Sankirtan, you say you become a devotee. Then when I'm trying to be a devotee, you say no, you have to be a pure devotee. But double standards here. Double standards, two trees. You got stuck between the feet of these trees. Generally, devotees have to get stuck between the feet of the Lord. But here the Lord is getting stuck between the feet of the trees. Quite amazing. Really quite amazing. Our acharyas have described in this regard that Krishna, as he was bound, he started to weep and he was thinking, oh, this is how conditioned souls feel when they're bound in this world. I am always mukta and they're always baddha. I am liberated and they're always bound and they're offering prayers to me. So I'm not able to relate to them. But now that I am bound and I'm crying for my liberation, I realize how difficult it is to be bound from one life to another. And immediately he looks at those two trees. And Krishna feels, even if I am bound, before I free myself, may I free you. This is the nature of the Lord's compassion. He thinks of doing good to others before even doing good to himself. My Guru Maharaj, in this regard, he was saying, therefore, be like Krishna. Even if we are not liberated, share Hari Katha so that others become liberated before us. Like Sripad Ramanujacharya stood on top of the terrace and he loudly chanted the mantra, even if I go to hell, may the whole world get liberated. In this mood, Damodar, he is trying to liberate the two trees by preaching. So devotees, even if they are bound in this world like Damodar, they should not think, may I become liberated and free myself first and then I will try to preach to others. No. One should, like Damodar, crawl with the wooden grinding motor. Even if we are bound with our anarthas, we will continue to speak about Krishna. And if that liberates the tree-like jivas around us, so be it. In Harinam Chintamani, when Sri Namacharya Haridas Thakur is asked, how can the trees be delivered? He says, by the loud chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. By the loud uttering of the holy name, the trees get uplifted. So here, Kuver Atmajau Baddha Murtyaiva Yadvat Tvayamochitau. Krishna, you liberated them, and Bhakti Bhajau Kritau. And you also made them into devotees. Tatha, in that way, my dear Lord. So the word yada and tada go together, yatha, tatha go together. So here, yadvat is going with tatha. Just like the two trees were liberated, tatha, similarly, prema bhaktim swakam me prayacha. Krishna, you give me prema bhakti in my heart. Na mokshe graho mesti damodareha. I don't want any mukti. I don't want any bhukti. I only want prema bhakti. I don't want anything else. So at this point, Krishna is still delaying. So Satyavrat Rishi pulls out the the Brahmastra at this point, that if Krishna is not listening to my prayer, So be it. I will go take shelter of Srimati Radharani. I will take shelter of Prishabhanu Nandini Radharani. Satyam Satyam Puna Satyam Satyam Eva Puna Puna Bina Radha Prasadena Mat Prasado na labhyate. One is considered to be a Mahatma when one worships Krishna. Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanaman Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. When someone worships Krishna, that person is a Mahatma. But for that person to be complete Mahatma, one has to Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakritim Ashrita. One has to take shelter of Daivi Prakriti. And Daivi Prakriti is Radharani. So those who worship Radha and Krishna together, they are the actual Mahatma. Krishna says, those who worship me is Mahatma. Those who worship Radharani, they are Mahatma. But those actually who worship Radha and Krishna, Jugal Upasana, worshipping them together, Jugal Kishore, they are the Mahatma in the true sense. So till now, he's only been worshipping Krishna. So Satyavrat Rishi, finally, he takes shelter of Radharani. And Namastestu Damne, Spurat Deepti Dhamne, Tvadiya Udarayath Vishwasya Dhamne, Namo Radhikayai, Tvadiya Priyayai, Namo Nanta Leelaya Devaya Tubhyam. Wow. He says, Damne, I bow down to your rope. This rope is not the rope of this world. It is the rope of Mother Yashoda's affection. Because the rope went on and on and on, and it was 2 fingers too short. And she kept coming in, bringing in more and more ropes from the neighborhood's home. And then finally, Damodar was bound. So that rope is 2 principles, Vaishnav Seva and Nam Sankirtan. These are the 2 principles from that rope. Why? Because Yashoda Rani did not do it by herself. She collaborated with other gopis and told them, you please bring ropes from your home. So that's like associating with other devotees and doing kirtan with them in the attempt to bind Gopal. Trying to chant japa by oneself is taking our own rope and binding Krishna. Then we will be 2 fingers too short. But everybody's doing japa, and now everyone's bringing ropes from their home, and all of them tie rope end to end. That is Vaishnav Seva and Nam Sankirtan. Prabhu kahe Vaishnav Seva Nam Sankirtan, dui karo shigra bhabe Krishnera charan. So this rope is Braj Bhakti, pure love for Krishna in Vrindavan, imbued by Vaishnav Seva and Nam Kirtan. So that is the Daman, the Damne. And Spura Deepti Dhamne. Tvadiya Udarayatha Vishwasya Damne. I bow down to your belly, which is the abode of the whole universe. So in the Mrid Bhakshan Leela, 1 chapter before, Krishna showed the whole universe in the mouth. And what's in the mouth is in the belly. So Krishna, you're quite interesting. As Vishwaroop, you are present in this world. But at the same time, all these universes are present in you. You are present in the universe, and the universe is present in you. Therefore, Krishna, your name is Jananivas. Jayati Jananivaso Devaki Janmavado. You are Jananivas because Jana, people, Nivas, live in you. And you are Jananivas because you live in them as Paramatma. You live in the planets, you live in the Jivas, and the Jivas and the planets live in you. So it's quite amazing. Tvadiya Udaraya Atha Vishwasya Dhamne. After bowing down to Krishna, Satyavrat Rishi says, Namo Radhikaye. I bow down to Srimati Radharani. And he's not saying Radha. He's not saying Radhaye. He's saying Radhikaye. Because in Sanskrit, the ka gives the sense of someone being soft-hearted. When somebody's mother, she's Amba. But when you say, oh dear soft-hearted mother, she becomes Ambika. Similarly, Radharani is she who is the Aradhika, she who is the worshipper of Krishna. Radhyate yaya sa Radha, Radhaiva Aradhyate maya. She who worships Shamsundar is Radharani, and she whom Shamsundar worships is Radharani. But, oh dear Radha, oh please shower mercy on me. So that ka has been added there, the pratyaya has been added there, and Radha becomes, like Amba becomes Ambika, Radha has become Radhika. So Namo Radhikaye, oh soft-hearted Radharani, please have mercy on me. And Krishna, Radharani's Tvadiya Priyayai. Now he's playing on Damodar's strength and weakness at the same time, who's Radharani. So she is very dear to you. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarva Gopaishu Saivaika Vishnu Ratyanta Vallabha. So Radharani is very dear to you, O Damodar. So, O Radha Damodar, together I worship you because now Devaya, both of you are effulgent, both of you fulfill my desire and make my life effulgent, and may I play in the eternal divine realm of serving you in your loving pastimes in Vrindavan, Ananta Leelaya, in these beautiful, unlimited pastimes that, O Radha Damodar, you exhibit in Vrindavan. May I enter those Leelas and serve all of you to the fullest satisfaction. So this is the prayer that Satyavrat Rishi, initially, if you see the trajectory, he starts with Namami Ishwaram. He is performing Dasya Bhakti. But as he is worshipping, you can see from Rudantam Muhur Netram up to Idam Te Mukhambojam. From Dasya Bhakti, he has gone up to Vatsalya Bhakti. Just by offering prayers, more and more Leela is getting revealed to him. And then finally, by doing Nam Sankirtan in verse 6 and taking shelter of Radharani, Satyavrat Rishi, who started off with Namami, Ishwaram Sachitananda Rupam, I bow down to the majestic potency of the Lord. He concludes by Namo Ananta Leelaya Devaya Tubhyam, Namo Radhikaye Tvadiya Priyaya. So this whole trajectory has been revealed to him by constantly praying in a sense of utter humility, helplessness, calling out to the names, and deep longing and desire to attain the Lord. So all of these are constituent ingredients for one to attain the divine realm of Sri Vrindavan Dham. So with this, I will pause. Sri Satyavrat Rishi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari 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 Bol. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Can you hear me, bro?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for a nectarian class. It's amazing. And one of the things you mentioned at the start is the verses are like deities and we take into quick darshan of them, like at Mayapur. But I'm sure devotees, yourself, we all have experienced that when we take quick darshan, our heart wants to have long darshan. So yeah, it's just sweet that you were able to summarize Damodarastakam so swiftly, all 8 verses. But hopefully, maybe next time you can do the full Damodarastakam, the full series again. Really nice. Thank you so much. Do you have some time for questions, Prabhu?
Sure.
Yes. If devotees have any questions, please do put your hands up. Vijay Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Prabhu. Yeah.
What about Amendra Prabhu? Can he hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, my question is related to how important the Kartik season is in relation to the rest of our devotional calendar. Kartik season appears as not different from the part of the devotional year we should use for increasing our devotional practices, because if we do, we get extra advancement. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So based on this, my question would be, how do you explain it that if we take into consideration the whole devotional year, there's this part of the devotional year, which is they call it most auspicious. What is the reason for this part of the year to give us extra spiritual advancement?
Here, Sri Rupa Goswami Pad, he says, Nikhila Samaya Bhartuhu Kartikasyadi Devim. Sri Rupa Goswami Pad says that just like among the gopis, Aparimita Mukunda Prayasi Vrinda Mukhyam, just like among the gopis, Radharani is the topmost. Similarly, Nikhila Samaya Bhartuhu, among all the months of the year, Kartika is the queen, just like Radharani is the queen of among all the gopis. So Radharani manifests as the month of Kartik. And we can also understand this as follows. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Masanam Margashirshoham. Then among the months I'm Margashish. And Radharani says among the months I'm Kartik. So just like Radha and Krishna are always together, the months are always together. So immediately after Kartik comes Margashish. And so much has been spoken about this month. So many auspicious festivals in this month. Sri Hari Bhakti Vilas glorifies this month. Rup Goswami Pad in Mathura Mahatmya glorifies this month. Srila Sanatan Goswami glorifies this month. In fact, in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, following Kartik has been considered to be one of the limbs of bhakti. So by all these reasons, we can see that Kartik month is non-different from Sri Radharani's compassionate nature. Therefore, certainly it is not the king, but the queen of all months.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions? Vrindavan Dham, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, Hare Krishna Amarendra Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you very much for the wonderful class. Just a quick question, Prabhu, regarding during Kartik month, we offer ghee lamp, and there's many significance, devotees, we are all aware about it. But the particular motion in which we offer the ghee lamp, Prabhu, 4 to the foot, 2 to the navel, 3 to the face, and 7 to the whole body of the Lord. I'm sure I've listened in some of your classes a few years ago. There's a significance that Mother Yashoda did that, but can you just reiterate that if you don't mind, Prabhu? And how is it related to our deity worship in ISKCON? Because that's how we offer um, ghee offerings during the puja to their lordship. So how is this related to that, or is it the other way around? Which comes first? Hare Krishna.
I have found only one praman in my life. Maybe there are more. There's only one verse I came across which spoke about we should offer it as 4, 2, 3, and 7. Just one verse I have found. And the crux of the matter would be so that we focus more on the different bodily limbs of Sri Hari. That is the essence. Otherwise, we could just go like this and then move on. And to avoid that, it has been mentioned. So we focus on the feet, we focus on the, and not just 4, 2, 3, and 7. One is free and is encouraged to focus on Krishna's lotus feet and baby Damodar's thighs and his waist and his navel and his chest and his fingers and his face and his hair, everything. So Jananivas Prabhu, when he was asked this, His Grace Jananivas Prabhu said that there is no specific scriptural injunction as such, but it is only so that we focus on the bodily beauty of Krishna. You may as well do 7 throughout. That's fine if we are able to focus. And we go in circles in the mood that, my dear Lord, I have gone in circles for so many lives, from one body to another, from one womb to another, and sometimes in the upper planetary systems and sometimes in the lower planetary systems. But Krishna, throughout all my circumambulation, may you be the central point of all my movements. Even in my life, when I go around the ups and downs, the highs and lows, may you be never forgotten. Because circle is basically the locus of all the points which are equidistant from one point, the center. So Krishna, may you be the center, and may the radius never change. It could go inwards, but not outwards. Like that.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions? Whilst devotees are thinking of one, I had one in the Prabhu. So you're talking about how it's nicer and it's in one sense heavier to have devotion in love, this idea of offering in love. When we're practicing Vedi sadhana bhakti, how does one really develop that intense love like we see the acharyas, like we see in the Damodarastakam itself? For me personally, it feels very much theoretical and very much, intellectually, I know I should do more than just offer my hands and arms and mouth in service. How do we actually offer the heart?
Same process as how Rukmini Devi offered. Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundara shrunvatamte nirvishya karana vivarai haratongatapam. She never saw Krishna, but she heard about him. But she heard about him from a person who knows Krishna, who loves Krishna. So bhaktistu bhagavad bhakta sangyena parijayate. Just like the coronavirus, during the pandemic, we were told to have social distancing. Why? Because if you come close to somebody who's carrying the virus, you may as well have it. So same with bhakti. If we if we are close to somebody who has the coronavirus of compassion and continues to sneeze in the form of Hari Katha, then their virus of Krishna Bhakti will get transferred to the person who's sitting next to them. So therefore, the suggestion in Shastra is Jao Bhagavata Pada Vaishnavero Sthane. Always find a personality who loves Krishna and hear Hari Katha from them. If you do that, what is there in their heart will come to your heart. So this is the prescription. We should read about Krishna, we should chant about Krishna, we should worship Krishna, but most importantly, hearing Hari Katha from someone who loves Krishna. This is the one that rekindles that fire flame in the heart. This is very important. So hearing about Krishna for some, like just like you can see, if we are not hungry, but there's somebody who's just been to a wedding next door, and they come and tell us, did you go to the wedding? It was amazing. The prasadam was delicious. And then you said, no, I didn't go there. By the way, what was there in the wedding? And they say, oh, I can't tell you, it was so tasty. Oh, and then they go on listing. I'm not going to do that here, but anyway, imagine if they go listing all the different things that were there in that wedding, and they ate that and they tasted it, and with so much enthusiasm they tell you, and they say, actually, you know what, the wedding's still on. There are so many who didn't go to the wedding, they were not invited, but they still go there for the prasadam. It's amazing. I think you should. What happens? The person wasn't hungry, but just sitting next to somebody who tasted it and describes it with so much enthusiasm, automatically our heart starts saying, I want it. So that lobha, natra shastram cha yuktim cha tal lobha utpatti lakshanam, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu says that greed to attain Krishna comes in the association of someone who's extremely greedy for Krishna and who's extremely talkative, talking about Krishna. So seek the association of someone who loves Krishna. साधु संगे कृष्ण नाम ए मात्र चाय संसारे चिनीते आरो कोनु बस्तु नाय. Sri Jagadananda Pandit says, my dear Lord, in this world, if you really want to give me a benediction, give me the association of a loving, talkative sadhu who loves you and speaks about you. And in their association, may I hear about you and chant about you. That's all that I want. So this is the shortcut, probably the only cut.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Kiran Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Glories of Prabhupada. Firstly, I would like to thank you, and then I'll ask my question. I thank you for everything because my chanting started from your classes, listening to your classes. So thank you so much for that. And every class you've done is the message that we take away. So thank you so much. And then my question is, I've always asked, I've always listened to your classes about the Damodar Leela, about all the mood of the milk, the kundala and everything. I just wanted to ask, like, is there anywhere written about the wood where Krishna was bind, like the mood of that wood? Please.
Good. Very good question. So that wood, the ulukal or the urukal, as we said, is considered to be Krishna's follower. He is considered to be like the disciple of Krishna. And this is explained by Sri Hari Suriji in the Bhakti Rasayanam commentary. He explains it like this. He says that Krishna is walking or he's crawling and the wooden grinding motor is rolling behind him. So the wooden grinding motor is teaching us Mahajano yena gata sapantha. Follow the footsteps of a great soul, because Krishna is the great personality. And even if we are dull-headed like the wooden grinding motor, but if you simply roll behind following the footsteps of a great soul, then we will be empowered to liberate others. Krishna did not liberate the trees, the wooden grinding motor did. And Krishna became very happy. Why? Because when the guru achieves something, that's okay. But when he achieves it through his disciple, oh, that's great victory. When Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur could have, but instead he preferred to empower Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan to manifest Govinda Bhashya in this world, the Vedanta Sutra commentary, then that was extra glory for Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Krishna, as the Guru, is empowering the disciple who is following his footsteps to liberate others. So that's the mood of the wooden grinding mortar. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions from the devotees? No? Guru Mataji?
Sorry, I have one more, but it's not about Damodar Leela. It's just about Vrindavan, Giriraj. How close can we go to Giriraj? And is it okay to say Hare Krishna Mahamantra loudly there, or is it a aparad? So please.
Is it aparat to loudly chant Giriraj Hare Krishna Mahamantra near Govardhan? So, Hey
And how
Radhe,
close can we go?
sure. So, He Radhe Vraja Devike Cha Lalite, He Nanda Suna Kuta, Shri Govardhana Kalpa Pada Patale Kalindi Vane Kuta, Ghoshantav. Ghoshantav means to loudly call upon. Ghoshantav iti sarvato vrajapure khedair mahavifhalau. With great separation, loudly calling on the names of Radha and Krishna, the six Goswamis spent their time sometimes in the Jamuna banks and sometimes in the caves of Giriraj. So regarding your second question, as loud as we can. Is it okay? Oh, yes, completely fine. Giriraj will be so pleased. And how close can we go? Well, to the point where we don't have to step on the rocks. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never climbed on the rocks of Giriraj Govardhan. None of our acharyas did either. So other sampradayas, they do. But followers of Sriman Mahaprabhu don't. So you can go close, but if you see a lot of Giriraj Shilas on the floor, then you can respectfully bow down and then you can continue your parikrama. Or you can sit there and chant Hare Krishna, no problem, loudly as possible. No problem. Just beware of the monkeys, that's all. At Govardhan, the monkeys are very naughty. Very naughty. There are sometimes monkeys, they steal the wallet and they take all the money out from there and they're sitting there distributing. Like they literally throw all the cash bills out like this. And people who have lost their money, they're kind of, you never know who's the human and who's the monkey. The monkey of Vrindavan is distributing all the wealth. Yeah, they can be quite mischievous. So, yes. We can take one last question, Bhaja Govinda Prabhu.
Thank you.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you. Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Very grateful for your association and also the class today. I just wanted to ask, so is there anything that we can do extra in our sadhana in the Kartik month or take any vow to improve our bhakti?
Oh, there is so much we can do. Like, for example, we can chant, let's say, read 3 chapters of Krishna book every day. The Krishna book has, it covers the 90 chapters of the 10th canto. So in 30 days of Kartik, you can read the whole Krishna Leela. It'll be so amazing. Or Yatha Shakti Yathamati, if somebody can do 2 chapters or 1 chapter, that's also fine. One can read the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, 1 chapter a day. That'll be amazing in front of the deities. That's a good vrat. Chanting more japa, circumambulating tulsi, waking up before sunrise. One should ideally wake up. Srila Prabhupada writes in one purport before 4 a.m. That's on a daily basis. That is Srila Prabhupada. But definitely in the month of Kartik, we should try to. And the 2 Ekadashis that come, we can intensify. It's called Upavasa. If we can do Nirjal Vrat, at least some Anukalpa, which means fruits, milk, water, etc. And Upavasa also means Upavrata. Upa means Upavrata, to keep away from sense enjoyment. And Vasa means Nivasa, to live close to Krishna. So keeping away materialistic pursuits, we live close to Krishna by chanting more, by reading more, by hearing more. Hearing Krishna Katha is prescribed. Living in Vrindavan for 1 month will be ideal. There is so much described about the glories of Brajvas in Kartik. But if that's not possible, Sri Jiva Goswami Pad says, Manasa api. Even by one's mind, one can live in Vrindavan. So that's also wonderful. offering lamps morning and evening, a must. Singing more Ashtakams and Vaishnav bhajans. One can sing Damodarastakam morning and evening, and be more regulated. One can try to do book distribution and more preaching and extending out to those who otherwise wouldn't perform bhakti. So there are devotees who worldwide do the Damodar month seva, where they go to newcomers, those who are absolutely new, and they offer lamps to them and say they have a big picture of Yashoda Damodar. And sometimes it's in the parking lot, sometimes it's in a shopping mall. They go out with a book table and lamps there, and they have a big picture of Yashoda Damodar in the trunk of their car. And maybe you say boot in the UK. Yeah, you don't say trunk there. Yeah. Okay.
Boot.
I remember I was saying trunk in the UK, and they were like, "What's the trunk?" And so in America, we say trunk. In India, I think you say dicky in the car, right? The back end of the car. So devotees keep the picture of Yashoda Damodar and lamps there, and they have a month-long celebration of Diwali. So those who are new, they're also offering lamps, and then they get incense sticks as gifts. They sometimes even get pictures and books. So extending out to others, Radharani will be extremely pleased if we can spread the names of Krishna out to so many out there in the world of unknown. So more Harinam Sankirtan, more book distribution, Prasadam distribution, more preaching programs, more the merrier. So more personal bhajan and more prachar. Janma sarthaka kari, karapara upakar. So in this way, we can do all of that, and also take a vrat that 1 month I will only have Krishna Prasad, no biscuits, no bread. Some even take vrat that I wouldn't have sweets for 1 month. I know it's going to be tough, but I'm just saying you don't have to do all of this because this has been asked. I'm just sharing. But definitely something that we should prioritize is reducing the screen activity on our phone for that 1 month. I do know devotees who go off social media for 1 month. How amazing. Nice dopamine detox, huh? And one thing we can do is no criticizing others, no seeing faults and discussing and wasting our time on he said this, she said this, they did this. In this temple, this happened. In that temple, that happened. If you want to discuss, can ideally discuss that next life. But if not, okay, at least after the month. You can have all the political discussions after the month. But that 1 month, we can completely go deep within to clean our heart and serve Krishna and be instruments to serve others. All right? Thank you very
so
much. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thanks so much, Marinda Prabhu. And just to follow on from that, so at the ISKCON Soho temple, Kartik with the Deepdan and everything will be celebrated from 7th of October until the last day of Kartik, which is 5th of November. So if you're in London, then you please do join us for Deepdan. Even at the Bhaktivedanta Manor, it will be from the 6th of October until the 5th of November. Yes, it'll be really nice to see everyone. And a huge thank you to Marinda Prabhu for joining us. Please do keep giving us your association. Hopefully you can come soon again. I missed the last time you came, but yeah. Thank you so much, Marinda Prabhu. 3-round Haribols for Marinda Prabhu. We'd like to unmute.
Haribol.
Haribol!
Haribol.
Haribol! Thank you so much.
Jai.
Thank you.
Jai.
Manchakal
Shila Gurudev ki jai, Shila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai, Shachi Nandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Shri Shri
Jai.
Radha Landanishwar ki jai, Shri
Jai.
Vrindavan ki jai, Jai
Jai.
Jai Shri Radhe Shyam,
Jai.
Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Haribol.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Hare
Bhatta.
Krishna.
Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.